How long has it been since I've done one of these videos? The kind of casual hike or stroll, showing you some landscape and rambling about this and that. I used to do that a lot. And it's quite nice here. I'm a little worried about the audio because I feel the wind. Got the wind cut setting on the microphone on, and I'm kind of holding my hand over it to try to minimize that, but might not be as good as I would like. Anyway, the view is really nice. So I'm on top of a mountain here, looking down at the city. I can actually hear frogs in the distance, which is pretty cool. Various birds. It's very calm and peaceful right now. Quite refreshing. And there's some bright ass lights over there. I don't know what that is. I don't have anything in particular that I want to talk about right now. It's just whatever comes to mind, really. Oh, and by the way, this is not an April Fool's video or anything like that. It just so happens to be uploaded on the 1st of April, but that's not what this is. I don't really like April Fools. I mean, it's just occasionally people come up with, actually interesting or funny pranks, but most of the time it's just kind of silly and whatever. I think I've only done it like once or twice during my time on YouTube. Maybe 3 times, but I think it was really only once or twice. Looks like there's police over there. I don't know if you can... You'll probably not see that in the video, but I see some flashing blue light. Oh well. Whatever's going on there, none of my business. How calming it is to be... I mean, I can't even say away from the city because I'm looking down at the city right here, but I'm above it, like literally, physically. And there's definitely something liberating about that. And it's always good to take a step back, especially on YouTube, when it's so easy to get bogged down in comment exchanges and get into fights with people and whatever over some trivial disagreement. Well, it's not always trivial, and that's the problem. I wish we could just be like, whatever, let's all get along and do whatever you like as long as you don't hurt anybody else, which is generally true. But then there are hot button issues in politics, like, should abortion be legal, or should drugs be legal, or, gun ownership, should it be legal, should it be restricted, how much should it be restricted? Unfortunately, that's the kind of thing where we can't just all hold hands and go along, or get along, rather, because, well, we have to make a decision, right? Something has to happen for society overall, or not happen. And it's a yes or no. There is no maybe. I mean, in some cases there are some compromises, but should this thing be legal? Yes or no? The only compromise would be it should be restricted in such and such way. But if somebody else disagrees with that, then you can't really do much about that. And that's the case when people get angry and start hating those who disagree and all of that. So I wish it was that simple. Unfortunately, it isn't. So in cases like that, what can we do? Well, ideally, we'd go by evidence. You know, what does the research say? Is this really bad? Or how can this be done better? Things like that. But even then, sometimes you just don't really know. Because as a layperson, you know, we can just do a quick Google search and come up with 3 articles to support our opinion, while being blissfully unaware of the 15 that disprove it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm often frustrated by these things because it feels like these uncertainties make life more difficult than it should be. But maybe that's just me. And one particular frustration that interactions on the internet keep reminding me of is how people who know next to nothing about one another come to hate the other person with a passion, just based on a label that they've applied to them, or that the other person has applied to themselves, or something that that person has said, even though it's quite possible that those two people could be friends in real life. I mean, not everybody's compatible, of course. Some people just are personality-wise incompatible, or, you know, they have such different outlooks and experiences and interests that there's just nothing really, or not much to share. But even so, I mean, sometimes one person says one thing, like which political candidate they support, for example, and then somebody else jumps to a whole catalog of conclusions about them. Oh yeah, that means you're this, that means you must think this and that and the other, and blah blah blah, and then they get into this angry fight and everything. It's such a waste of time. And even more frustrating is, it's easy to say that, but I know how it happens. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes I see something that somebody says in the comments or whatever, and I form a mental image of that person, like, oh yeah, you're an asshole, which may or may not be true. But I mean, if you think about it, if you're realistic, most of us are assholes and / or idiots a certain amount of the time. That's just, we're humans. Humans are kind of douchey idiots in many cases, or at least they have a lot of potential for it. Sometimes it's as simple as you've been having a bad day or whatever. Sometimes it just seems idiotic just because you don't happen to share that perspective. A lot of things just seem stupid because you don't understand them. Anyway, it's getting too dark for proper recording, so all I want to say, I suppose, is try to give people the benefit of the doubt more often. I know it can be difficult, but I think it's worthwhile, because we can have much more productive dialogues that way when we're actually having an exchange with somebody and are, trying to understand their point of view, as opposed to just shouting at them and trying to force ours in their face, which most likely they're not gonna relate to because of their different background and all of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes people are being idiots. It's true. Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes they're ignorant and uneducated at best. Sometimes they're being willfully ignorant. And sometimes I think they're being well aware that they're just acting like complete dicks. But they're doing it anyway. And that you can fault people for. In general, you can fault people for treating others like garbage. If somebody is like an abusive, belligerent piece of crap and ignorant and delusional, I don't want to name any names, Alex Jones, but there are certain people that are just intolerable in so many ways. Sometimes you can only take this philosophy so far, but even then, I think it's useful to at least try to understand what the other side is talking about. Sometimes you're then better prepared to offer counter arguments and all of that. But anyway, I'm just literally just flapping my gums here idly. I don't know if it makes that much sense, and I might have said these things in the past a number of times. It's just my general outlook on life. But finally, just one thing I want to mention is that I do appreciate most of you people who watch this. I know that sounds a little bit, most of you? That means he doesn't like me. You know what I mean. When there's a large audience of very diverse people, you can't get along with everybody. And I know that there are some people who hate me with a passion, but for some reason stay subscribed, just so they can, squirt some more hate juice in the comments or whatever. And yeah, I don't get it, but it exists. Either way, I've gotten some really nice comments and messages from people who, and some even kind of poured their heart out to me and said, talked about things that happened in their life and how the videos helped them and things like that. And I really appreciate that. For one, I appreciate knowing that I can have some degree of positive influence on some people, as minor as it is, even if it's just entertainment and a bit of information and a bit of advice here and there. It's not much. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything. I don't save lives, but just to know that there is a bit of a positive effect is really quite heartwarming, so to speak. And I know that there are many good people among you watching this, and just thank you for being there, and thank you for those messages and all of that. I do appreciate that. I try to reply as much as possible. I try to read as many as possible. It's nowhere near as much as I would like, but sometimes I do read stuff, but I don't have the time to answer everyone, which it sucks. I feel sorry for that, but it's just just not physically possible, or virtually possible in that case. Either way, but yeah, just let it be known that I do appreciate these interactions, and I am grateful for these interactions. It's important to not just focus on negative things. Anyway, enough blabbering. If you made it this far, thanks for listening, and let me know what you think and stuff. Have a good one.